Not yet, please.
Okay, sorry.
I will let you know. Sorry, there is a glitch on YouTube, so I will let you know as soon as.
I see. Sorry, a colleague just told me that he could see me as participant from the exterior.
Not just wait for our sign and.
Okay, well, I'll wait.
Okay, Ugo, we are ready to start.
Very well. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Now we move very soon to the clean steel topics. I just remind you in advance, once again, but especially for those, of course, who just joined, that you can comment and ask a question on Slido. Just go to slido.com and put as the event code InfoDay. Let's move now to the first slide of the clean steel topics. As you see, there are two different topics, one innovation action and one research and innovation action. I remind you, as it was said at the beginning, that in the case of the innovation action, the contribution, the EU contribution to funding is equal only to 60%. I now give a word to the policy officer who is responsible for this topic, Alessandra Colli. Please, Alessandra, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ugo, and good afternoon to everyone. We are now looking into more details into the clean steel topics. Let me first say that we have two topics for the call 2023. These two topics are both implementing the objective of the Clean Steel Partnership, and for this reason, I would suggest you also to take a look at the Strategic Research and Innovation Agenda, the SRIA, on the website of the partnership. In each of the topics, you will find the possibility to address one or more of the objectives and address also one or more of the interdisciplinary research activities mentioned in the scope section of the topic. Now we can go in detail into the first topic. Next slide, please. Thank you. This is topic 43. This is addressing two technological areas. This is a portfolio topic. We are addressing low carbon dioxide emission technologies for melting iron-bearing feed material, or smart carbon usage and improved energy resource efficiency via process integration. This OR is very important. This is a portfolio topic, two technological areas you can apply for one or the other. So consider this as an exclusive or from the logical perspective. You will see this division also internally in the topic itself. There will be point 1 or 2 identified in the text of the topic. So we start from the outcomes. We have for the first part, for the first technological area, the expected outcome are in principle to integrate next generation iron bearing feed material melting technology into enhanced steelwork. This is focusing mostly on pre-treatment, preheating, and melting technologies. We can introduce novel and enhanced melting technologies for reducing at least 20% of the CO2 emissions, or we can integrate next generation melting technologies. In this case, it is important for us also to consider the carbon footprint of the full supply chain of the melting of the iron making the steel process. So it is important for addressing specific political reasons, especially also for addressing the reduction in the emissions. Enhance, and the third point is enhance the use of iron-bearing feedstock intermediate products with variable content of carbon and metallization. Now, before we go to the second point, we go into the scope area of this first point. In the scope area, so you will see that we want specifically to address low CO2 emission technologies, as said before, targeting pretreatment, preheating, or melting of materials with different content of carbon and metallization. So we need to adopt melting processes. So we will go, for example, into the direction of innovative or totally new melting processes. Optimize the energy input. This is also an important aspect in respect to the policy of the Commission and in respect to the Repower EU. In variability of feedstock, we can also address different type of feedstock that we can consider. And it's also very important to have in mind also controlling the process itself. So considering sensors and real-time management of the process itself and the technology. Now we go in the second part of the title. So no, always the second technology area. I still have to address that one. The second technological area is focused concerning the outcome on cutting CO2 emission by smart carbon usage and process integration, or replacing coal, for example, with biogas and hydrogen, or advanced management of system and gases. This is really looking into the integration, so the improvement of a gas handling system, the improvement of gas, also innovative gas handling system, gas adaptations, integrating the information and communication technologies, which is again a very important aspect, and enhance the production and the energy management of integrated plant with mixed routes. So we are addressing also over here the possible new technologies that can come into play for also considering new type of gases that in the process. So the scope of this is really reduction of fossil fuels and reductants. So here we have to minimize carbon input, try to, as much as possible, as recycle gases, and introduce new techniques, new technologies, new tools that can allow this. Introducing new gases in the system can create quite some variability in the process itself. So we need to investigate also this aspect. Now, looking into the general picture of the portfolio topic, to have a balanced portfolio, we have, as far as we have two technological areas, grants will be awarded to at least one project in each technology area. So at least, of course, if it is a valuable project, but if there are valuable projects, at least one of them will be funded in each of the technological area. Here there is an indicative budget of 23 million. The contribution per project is 4 to 6 million. And the type of action, this is an innovation action with 60% EU funding. And a TRL that start at level 5 to achieve 6, possibly 7. An important things on this topic is gonna mentioned in the question and answer, the frequently asked question session of the call. As I specified, there is in the topic, the two areas are identified normally with number 1 and 2. In the scope, there is a small mistake. You will find 2 times the number 1. So this says that there are the area 1 and 2, but then you will find 2 times the number 1. Be aware that after the or in the text, the second point 1 is actually a number 2, but this will be specified better in the frequently asked questions. Now we can move to the topic 45. So next, thank you so much. So this is a specific topic. This is one technological area and is addressing specific circular economy solution for valorization of low quality scrap streams, materials recirculation with higher recycling rate, and residue valorization for long-term goal towards zero waste. Concerning the outcomes of this topic, we have a specific focus on implementing highly efficient technologies for recovering metals. And here we are addressing both iron and non-ferrous metals, and mineral fraction from in-plant steel-making residues. So this can be done, this recovering can be done in with two modalities. One is cooling and mechanical, of course, mechanical action, mechanical steps, or otherwise directly reusing the residues in the existing production processes. Then, concerning the outcome, second bullet point, we have characterize and or modify properties of residues in the present value chain and or in innovative application to valorize them. Now, these first 2 points, these first 2 bullet points, in both cases, there is the possibility to bring into the proposal itself the use of analytical research infrastructure. For example, this could be asynchrotron facilities to be able to use and to take advantage also of this type of networks in Europe that is extremely relevant. Third bullet point that we have also as expected outcomes to enhance the use of low quality scrap by new technologies and iron steel making route targeting high quality and finished product and reduce CO2 emission, and finally develop technologies and processes for upgrade of low grade iron ore. So the scope of this topic is mostly addressing and understanding the effects of the feedstock quality in new technologies which are entering the market. This is why in this case also it is very important to consider also material analysis in the vision. This is implementing circularity and industrial symbiosis. We want to improve also scrap and scrap management. So we can go also into the optimization of let's say quality of specific low-level type of scrap. And another thing that's again important also in this topic is monitoring. Monitoring in the sense of using sensors and introducing data analytics and artificial intelligence in the loop. Indicative budget here is 12 millions. We have an EU contribution per project indicatively from 3 to 6 millions. Again, also when we are talking about EU contribution per project, you will look then into the topic, into the detail. This is expected, more or less indicative value, but of course different contribution will be also considered. Type of actions, this is a research and innovation action with a TRL from 4 to 5, 6. Now, if I have additional couple of minutes, I would like to give a little bit of, for both topic, a little bit of an introduction to and a view concerning the policy that we are addressing concerning the European Union. So it is very important for us to address the policy of the Green Deal. We have specific keywords that are appearing in both topics that are industrial symbiosis and circular economy. In both cases, you will see that sometimes we are talking about energy management, improving efficiency, and this is specifically to target the purposes of the Repower EU and, of course, the crisis that we are all facing. Thank you.
Thanks, Emilia, Alessandra. Very exhaustive and clear presentation on a complex topic. We are a few minutes out of schedule, behind schedule, but it's mostly because we started a few minutes late. There was a small glitch in the online broadcasting. We move now to the questions. Please, as you know, go to Slido and feel free to ask any question you might find relevant. There is already one, very well. So is there an advantage to have more use cases from different industries, or a dedicated industry use case group is enough? Alessandra, this is for you. I suspect here it's about different industries also in the sense of other sectors, and this being a clean topic, I think, clean steel topic, I think you should clarify this.
So it depends on in which cases or how you want to introduce this in the sense. So, for example, if we are talking about industrial symbiosis or the reuse of specific gases, in that case, you may bring in a different type of industry. So, in the sense that you may bring in one type of industry, for example, chemical industry, to be the provider of these gases, but then they are reused specifically in the steel industry. So it depends at the end of the day how your concept is developed, and it's not necessary that there will be specific only the steel industry, but all needs to then go back and be useful for the steel industry.
Very clear, thanks. Is it a problem to add the use cases from associated countries?
that I think, Ugo, is maybe more something that is from the
Yes.
perspective of ADEA.
Yes, this should be clarified indeed. So the use cases usually have to be inside the European Union. In the case that one has to be placed outside, it has to be really strongly justified in the proposal. So the EU value added for this situation has to be demonstrated extremely clearly. I think, by the way, on this particular issue, you will find a lot of information in the frequently asked questions. It is a recurrent issue. Very well. Doesn't seem to be additional questions. If this is the case, 39, we managed to finish very much in time. Thanks, Alessandra, for the excellent presentation. Very clear, especially about the scope and the particularities of these topics. For instance, in the first one, you made it very clear how there are two different possibilities of choosing the technology, the area, and that actually they compete against each other also in terms of the granting of the financing later on. And I think this was very useful because it is not the case in many other topics. So it's important to point it out to the public. Very well. In that case, I move back to my presentation, and soon I think it will be again on the screen. And we move to the next topics. Oops. And in particular, we move now to the Process for Planet partnership topics. We have 3 different topics, 2 research and innovation ones, and 1 innovation action. It's very important here to note, before we get started, I would say that 2 of these are lump sums. For those who connected only now, probably they would have questions on these. I would advise them to look maybe also at a very informative presentation we had this morning about this topic. There were a number of questions which are probably very close to the one you would ask about the lump sum system. It's already online, so you can already see it recorded. Please, if you have general questions about this, you can refer to that, and maybe you can focus here if you have questions about the specificities of the topics, such as the scope or the technology approach and so on. I give now the words to my colleague Antonio Ferrandez Garcia, who is policy officer in the competent unit in DG RTD.
Thank you, Hugo. Well, I introduce myself. I'm Antonio Ferrandez from RTD. I'm going to present the first topic of this area, that is the area of energy-intensive process industries, and I will do it along with my colleagues Garvin and Alban. These 3 topics aim is to achieve energy efficient and climate neutral process industries, implementing the ECO program European Partnership Processes for Planet. Well, my first topic is the 0131, is energy efficiency breakthroughs in the process industries. And well, as you can see in the slide, it's a research and innovation action with an indicative budget of 32 million. We expect for projects of 8 to 10 million each.
Antonio, sorry for interrupting you and Ugo.
Yes.
There seems that there is no presentations being shared for the
Ah,
time being.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Thanks for letting me know. It will be there in a second.
Great.
Oh, no, sorry again. I think I better take the big screen. Sorry about this. I expected it to be shared automatically back once I started. This obviously was not the case. Hmm. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, very well.
I think
I put
Okay.
just a second back the slide with the 3 topics so that people know, and now my colleague will focus on the first one.
Okay, yes, thank you, Hugo. Well, as you can see in the slide, this first topic is on energy efficiency breakthroughs in the process industries. It's a research and innovation action with an indicative budget of 32 million, and we expect 4 projects of 8 to 10 million each. It is expected to start at TRL 4 and achieve TRL 6 at the end of the project. All the eligible costs will take the form of a lump sum. As a little background of this topic is that we will need affordable renewable energy and increase the industrial processes energy efficiency if we want to decarbonize energy intensive industries. Today's energy efficiency improvements in conventional plants are about 1 to 2% annually. The use of digital technologies in process optimization has the potential to further reduce this energy demand. However, digital technologies alone cannot achieve the required change in the process industry's energy efficiency. So we will require the combination of digital technologies with highly energy efficient processes breakthroughs. So the proposals under this topic should first focus on the development of highly efficient technological breakthroughs from the innovation of the most energy intensive part of specific processes. Second, to demonstrate the decrease in energy intensity of output level. 3, integrate novel digital technologies from the fields of distributed process control and data-driven AI-based optimization. And 4, finally demonstrate and evaluate energy efficiency gains. The proposal should include energy efficiency, techno-economic and life cycle assessment considering the overall process. And they should include as well a business case and exploitation strategy to further moving on to deployment. They should build on our strict collaboration with existing projects and develop synergies with other relevant European, national or regional initiatives. The proposals are encouraged to consider outcomes from the projects carried out in the call DGSPI 06-2019, that it was the digital technologies for improved performance in cognitive production plants. And what are the expected outcomes? Well, you see that in the slide, the projects will enable the achievement of the objectives of the Processes for Planet Partnership by designing and digitizing industrial processes for a maximum energy efficiency, ensuring process flexibility and capturing the full potential of renewable energy. This is related to Processes for Planet operational objectives 1 and 5. So what does it mean? First, increase the energy efficiency of energy intensive industrial processes by reducing energy use by at least 30%. Second, enable the techno-economic feasibility of novel technologies and processes. And third, enable the potential of an increased use of renewable energy. This will lead to contribute in 2 priorities, that is achieving the EU climate neutrality goal and becoming independent from fossil fuels. So, well, this is all from my part. Thank you very much for your attention, and I will be happy to answer your questions. For the next topic, I will give the floor to my colleague Garvin. Thank you very much.
Thanks to you. Galvin, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Hugo and Antonio. I hope you can hear me well.
Perfectly.
Okay, super. So the topic I'm going to present now is Twin Transition 33, is electrification of high temperature heating system, and is as the topic that Antonio presents, and the next one, these are topics that implement the co-program European Partnership Processes for Planet. It's an innovation action, and then the activities are expected to start at TRL 5 and achieve TRL 7. So that means demonstrator in the relevant industrial environment by the end of the project. We have a total budget here of a little bit more than 35 million euros. And the EU contribution, expected contribution, is between 12 and 50 million euros. So that means we should be able to finance between 2 and 3 projects. As Nicolas was explaining beginning of the morning, this is one of the topics that implements this pilot, where the funding rate is going to be 60% of the eligible cost for both the members and non-members of the partnership. And of course, it will be still 100% for the non-profit legal entities. So, which is this project about? So the idea of the topics here is that we focus on the sustainable electrification of high temperature heating systems. And it's indicated on the topic, this means heating systems where temperature is above 400 degrees. And the rationale behind it is that the high temperature industrial heating systems in these process industries are usually powered by fossil fuel combustion, and then they are responsible for 20% of the process industry's greenhouse emissions. One way to reduce these emissions is through the electrification. It's not the only way, but one way is through the electrification of these heating systems, and of course then using renewable electricity. And then to achieve this, the topic is requesting several things. And the first thing is to integrate existing highly efficient technologies into the industrial system. And then there you will see that the topic gives examples of the existing technologies, but to be kept in mind, these are not exhaustive lists, it's just examples. And what is kind of key here is that what we are requesting is the integration of these highly efficient technologies into the industrial environment, which is already very challenging. The topic is asking to take a holistic approach, and we are giving examples, for example, to take into account the requirements of advanced materials with appropriate equipment designed. And also the topic is asking to take into account other aspects such as safety, flexibility, and is the process control. We are asking here to showcase at least one realistic case that can be then replicable in other process industry sectors. So only one is necessary, but what is important here, this is processes for planet. We are always trying to see which are the themes, the aspects which are transversal to the process industries. Then, so the replicability of these showcases to other industry sectors will also be important. We are saying then that we are recommending, not an obligation, but we are recommending to inclusion of the greenhouse gas emission methodology, and we are proposing or indicating that this methodology could follow the Innovation Funds methodology. An aspect to be taken into account here is that this is a proposal that ends up a topic, that is looking for projects that they will end up after 7. And the inclusion of a greenhouse gas methodology is one of the criteria, very important criteria for innovation funds, which take on board the TRL 8s. So one way of getting the project and outcomes of the project ready to move towards higher TRL levels is already to start working and showing this greenhouse gas emissions avoidance. Another aspect here is that we said that the proposal submitted under this topic should include a strong business case and sound exploitation strategy. And very important here is that this morning was said that in order to accommodate the fact that at the level of the proposals, you already need to include this exploitation plan and business strategy, is that you will have 3 more pages on the top of the maximum of the pages in order to include this plan. Well, due to a clerical error, this topic doesn't have these 3 extra pages indicated at the beginning of the topic, so the table you find there, but we will add this in the frequent asked questions, and everything is already in place so that proposals that will be applying to this topic, they will indeed have these 3 extra pages. What else? From the expected outcomes, you have them there in front of you, and they're all linked together. So first, the first expected outcome is to demonstrate the use of the advanced electric heating technologies for high temperature demand systems, is what we have been talking so far. And then, of course, to prove the effectiveness of the technologies towards the greenhouse gas emission avoidance. And here what we are saying is that we expect that this avoidance will be at least 30% compared to the current state-of-the-art levels. Then, as we were talking, we are changing, moving from systems that use fossil fuel combustion to renewable electricity. So here we will be online. We're expected to be online with the REPower EU plan, and then contributing to independence from fossil fuel and fossil fuel imports. Another expected outcome is to showcase the scalability and the cost efficiency of the proposed solution, and then, of course, at the end, to enable then the economic viability of entire units. And this is all for me. So I think we can move to the next topic, that it will be a modeling and will be presented by our colleague from DigiClima.
Thanks a million, indeed. Alban Kitos, the floor is yours.
Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
Very well.
Thank you. Thank you, colleagues. Good afternoon. So I will present now this topic number 36, which is entitled Modeling of Process Industry Transition to Climate Neutrality, Sustainability and Circularity. So that topic also implements the Processes for Planet Partnership. It has an indicative budget of 13 million euros and an expected contribution per project of 6 to 7 million euros. The type of action is research and innovation actions. There is no TRL attached to this topic, which is about developing economic models and building scenarios and pathways for the industry sectors in the context of reaching the EU's climate neutrality objective by 2050. So in terms of expected outcomes, so the first outcome is the development of some modeling capacity. It can be a model or a set of models, or the enhancements of existing modeling tools towards better understanding the or some possible pathways for industry in general and energy intensive industries in particular to contribute to this overall aim of reaching climate neutrality by 2050 as per the European climate law. So in this context, we expect different tools or modeling techniques to be used, in consistency and to complement each other. The topic describes possible techniques, but it's not an exclusive say description. Techniques like system dynamics might be used, techno-economic modeling, but also macroeconomic modeling, and potentially more granular agent-based modeling to better understand the behavior of the industrial sectors, of entities in these sectors, and of, for instance, future consumption of materials. With the developed or enhanced modeling capacity, the topic expects the modeling or development of scenarios, of pathways of how the EU industry and in general, and again, how the EU energy intensive industries in particular can become and contribute to meeting the climate neutrality objective according to a number of dimensions. The first one of which being their future energy demand and contribution of different fuels, including climate neutral fuels, and the contribution of energy efficiency to their decarbonization over time. The second dimension is how associated greenhouse gas emissions in general and CO2 emissions in particular, including process-related CO2 emissions, will evolve over time and across the different sectors. The third dimension to consider there is the use of raw materials, so next to energy fuels, the use of chemicals, and also the use of water. The fourth dimension to consider is the evolution of production of consumer goods, equipment, and construction products over time, and the associated needs for material production. And finally, the fifth dimension is the possibility of replacing fossil carbon in materials by more sustainable streams and climate-compatible streams. So the aim of these developments and this definition of pathways or exploration of pathways is to facilitate future EU as well as national industry, climate, and energy policy assessments. We see this capacity as very important here for us from DG Clima to be better equipped in defining such pathways, identifying research needs, identifying opportunities and challenges for all these sectors. Indeed, climate neutrality of industry is and will be a strong priority for the EU, as well as for national policies by 2030, and obviously beyond towards 2050, since industry is considered as one of the hard to abate sector. In that context, we see this capacity as a useful input to any future policy initiative, which will require a robust forward-looking analytical capacity, interlinked with macroeconomic, notably on the question of jobs, employment, but also potentially trade, and energy system trends in relation with the decarbonization of the EU energy system. And all of that should be provided in a consistent manner through modeling. So the topic will contribute to setting climate neutrality transition pathways for process industries in an open and transparent manner, which is a very important element of this topic via the design, the modeling and assessment of pathways of these industries. The modeling exercises can set the framework conditions and project market uptake of new solutions, new products. As mentioned, will also help to reveal needs on the research, development, and innovation side. Finally, the topic should enhance our collective knowledge about such pathways for the industry, should contribute to academic, or complement academic research, as the resulting modeling capacity, so that includes the model code, the input data, should be fully transparent and published under an open source licensing, thus contributing to analysis in general on these topics in the years to come. So thank you very much for your attention, and I would be happy to take questions.
Thanks, Emilio. Very well, indeed, this is the moment for the questions, of course, for all three topics just presented. Soon our coordination colleague will take over and show the slide if a new question comes, and indeed they are already there. So first one on topic 31. Is it necessary to combine breakthrough technologies for energy efficiency and advancement in the digital results developed in SPIRE 07 2019? So referred to previous calls. Anybody would like to take that one? Either Tonio or Garbine, probably.
Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Very well.
Yeah, well, it will, I'm going to look for the topic. Are encouraged to consider it. So it's to find mechanisms to make to do activities together or to use these results in order to build on them. If I can just explain a little about it, but I think it's about that.
Yes, I think this is usually the approach. So it's
Exactly.
encouraged to build on these advancements. It's not necessary. So if the question is strictly necessary, probably the answer is no. But of course, it would be a plus. Next question. The extra 3 pages that have been mentioned are for all topics or only for some of them? I think they referred for the lump sum topics. As it was explained already this morning in the session dedicated to the lump sums, there is more spaces available there, these 3 more pages, in order to make space for the additional information that is needed, especially for the work packages and the relative connected expenses. So I would say these refer for the 2 topics which are lump sums.
Ugo, may I
Yes.
come in?
Yes, please.
These 3 extra pages, this is actually for the business cases. And
Yes.
this is only for topics where there is a business case. So this should be exactly written in the topic. For lump sum topics, you get additional 5 pages, but this is independent. So you can have.
If I may, I'm hello everyone from my side. I'm the program coordinator for HADEA. The 3 additional pages are for topics that foresee strong business case, to present a strong business case and a sound exploitation strategy. It does not apply to all topics under these destinations, but to plenty of them. So you have to pay attention to the topic text, to the description, whether your topic requests to present a business case and exploitation strategy. This has been added already in the SEP submission tool, and you will be able to submit a Part B template with additional 3 pages than the original estimated page limit.
Okay, thanks, Emilio, for the clarification. Sorry, I missed that up with the additional space given for the lump sums. Indeed, these 3 pages are for the topics which foresee an exploitation, a business case and exploitation case. In these topics, I think it was not mentioned directly in the topic, as Garbina said, but since the request, the need to submit this information is there, they will be allowed. Next question. Renewable technologies are necessary. Is it expected to develop new advancement or implement available renewable technologies in the use cases?
Yeah, I take that one. It's already written in the topic. Well, the focus is in development high efficient technological breakthroughs in the most energy intensive part of specific processes. Renewable energies, yeah, it's already written that are expected, are necessary, and implement available. Well, the focus is to decrease, as you can see, the energy use by at least 30%. So if it's an available technology or technology to be developed in the project, but the objective is the same, to reduce the energy use by at least 30%.
Okay, very clear, thanks.
Thank you.
Next one, nice session with a lot of participation. For topic 33, is it compulsory to use electricity for renewable sources for the project demonstrators, or is it possible to use it from the grid?
Yeah, that's for me, Hugo.
Yes, please.
If I may go back to the pages, because I think I was the one mentioning the pages, and maybe, but Hugo is totally right in the sense that the issue is that, as Anna was saying also, in this topic we were talking about having exploitation plans, business cases presented, and then for all those topics you have these 3 extra pages. Here we made a clerical mistake because we were requesting for that, but we didn't add the 3 extra pages. So is what I was trying to clarify. I hope I didn't confuse you more than anything. So if I go now to the question, this is something we discussed quite a lot during the preparation of this topic, also with industry. No, you are not obliged to use renewable sources, which also may mean issues with the flexibility of the system, etc. So no, it's not compulsory to use renewable electricity. And the next one, should apply to. I'm not kind of sure what it means, but So we are talking about TRL 5, but I was saying the idea is integration of these highly efficient technologies. Of course, the technology has to be at higher TRL level than 5, because 5 will be integrating it into the system. So it's the fact that you are working on the integration that should be at that TRL level, not the technology as such. I hope that I'm answering, because I'm not very sure what is meant here.
Yes, it's not completely clear, but I think probably.
Yeah, if someone wants to come back again, that's fine. Yeah.
Very well. If there are any additional questions, we still have 2 minutes, and since after there is the lunch break, we could also probably steal a few minutes from the break. If there are any additional questions, we would be happy to reply them, to answer them. Not really. But let's give it another 30 minutes, 30 seconds. 30
No
will be too much.
minutes.
I mean, it will be way too much. Very well. Everything seems to be clear. Maybe while we're waiting, Gabin, I think it was very nice that you cited also the possibility of projects in this particular, in general, but especially from these topics, to then apply for additional sources of EU funding, like the Innovation Fund. And indeed, the fact that the quantification of greenhouse gases reduction is quantified in a project financed by the EU through Horizon Europe,
It's
would be
it's a recommendation. It's not an obligation, but it's true that in the topic we have add other features like at the end of the project come with a plan for deployment, scalability, etc., which are also criteria for innovation funds. So
exactly. The evaluation criteria there comprise also both scalability and emission reduction. So to have it demonstrated already would make it easier, of course, not required, but much easier to see it approved. Another question. Prototype system, it is currently at TRL 5.
Yeah, that
was exactly on scope, so on target rather than scope. So I think that will be fine.
That's clear. Yeah.
Very well. Thanks for clarifying. Okay. Well, in this case, if there are no additional questions, I think we can stop it here. Thanks a million for the policy officers who presented, and we reconvene with the other topics at 2. Important to note that, of course, both the link and the Slido code will stay the same. So nothing, if you're already connected, nothing is needed to change it, to switch it to the next session. Thanks for your attention, and enjoy your lunch break.